What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of the show. Today is kind of like a little inside the cover day, but it's also kind of like a sequel to a show that Wild Bill and I did a few weeks back, where we took a look at a cool Iron Man villain. His name was Midas, and we specifically showed you the inside of issue number 107. Okay, this is kind of like the big finale fight of a couple of issue run where Iron Man and Midas kind of tangled. There was all sorts of other characters involved and whatnot. So Bill, talked a little bit about and showed you a bit of this. But I wanted to kind of go a little bit inside issue number 105 and issue number 106. Again, I just recently picked these up. And actually the story starts even before then, but it really starts to pick up the pace here. Because in issue number 104, we do get the little tangle between Jack of Hearts and Iron Man, but everything's kind of all been set up by Midas, and now there's all sorts of stuff going on where Iron Man, Tony Stark, and Madam Mask are now kind of in a relationship, and Iron Man kind of maybe wants to step back a little bit from everything that's going on. Midas takes control of Stark Industries. Right, you got all these other heroes. So you've got the Guardsman, the Wrath, and the Jack of Hearts, all trying to figure out why the hell Iron Man's not trying to work with Tony Stark to get his company back, right? So that's kind of like the gist of what's going on from Midas. And so here we have, this is George Tuska art and Mike Esposito inker, which I will say, the Tuska Esposito team, I like quite a bit on Iron Man. So here, just to kind of go through, he's having a bad dream. He sees himself as a child, overlooking, the fallen Iron Man. And then, him and Madam Mask, like I said, they're kind of in this relationship now. Do a little bit of backtracking and the tangle between Jack of Hearts and Iron Man. Okay. And then basically Tony just kind of not wanting to, just wants a break, right, from being Iron Man and all this. And then we have Jack of Hearts is kind of flying around, and he gets tracked by the Wrath, the Wraith, and the Guardsman. Okay. And they basically kind of get him involved, and also what is her name? Police Captain Jean DeWolf, as well as Eddie March, right? All these people who have been involved in Iron Man previously. And so they're going to work together to try and go and talk some sense into Iron Man and get him back into the mindset of, hey, there's some stuff going on you need to pay attention to. Nick Fury gets involved. Jasper Stilwell gets involved. Of course, he's in love with Madam Mask as well. So there's this little love triangle between him, Iron Man, and Madam Mask. Crazy stuff. And then eventually they do kind of track him down. But then, of course, there's Mr. Midas once again. Now, Midas since he's got control of Stark Industries, he has control of all the extra Iron Man outfits or suits of armor. So he is like mechanically kind of controlling all of them. So he has this whole army of Iron Man at his disposal, right? So here we kind of continue on the story, which leads up to the confrontation at the end, where all the heroes now confront Iron Man. They try to convince him that he needs to go and work with them to go take care of Midas and get Stark Industries back, and he's just like, no. So Jasper, the jealous fiend, actually goes and pulls a gun on Madam Mask, and he's like, if you don't help us out here, I'm going to put a bullet through her head, even though we're both in love with her, blah, blah, blah. So he agrees to go help them. Then this mysterious woman shows up. Then comes a war. That's for the next issue. So we'll take a look at that. And that's, like I said, issue number 106. Oops, got a lot of glare there. I'll take that out in a sec. Okay, without the glare. There we go. So you can see him battling all the different Iron Men. So again, this is George Tuska, Mike Esposito, with Bill Mantlo, the writer. And here we continue right where we left off. Okay. Jasper grew some balls, huh? Boy, unlike him. He's a man in love, right? I tell you, he'll do anything. So here we see that Iron Man has agreed. So he goes and takes off to go seek Midas. Right? And then the rest of the heroes follow suit. Meanwhile, the rest of them are pissed that Jasper went to those lengths So, of course, the police chief basically is like, what the hell's wrong with you, dude? So they get to the lair of Midas. Iron Man busts in. Here we have the war begins. Check out this splash page. Look at that, boys and girls. That is pretty spectacular. Everybody shows up. The rockets are launched. The battle begins. Iron Man's kind of surprised that they follow along. They're like, hey, man, we're here to help you. We're all in this together. So here we go. Midas's minions are falling left and right. Then, of course, in comes the army of the Iron Men. The battle continues. Another cool big page there. Look at that. It's a really good battle issue. So one by one, the heroes drop. Because, of course, they're going against an army of Iron Men here, right? But Tony, he knows how to fight them, right? Because those are his suits. So he's trying to save Whitney. She's down. He's down, and this mysterious woman shows up, and of course, she is Marianne Rogers, who Tony was also in a relationship way back when, and she kind of went a little nuts, so she's been in the loony bin. So she's kind of crazy, and she's out for revenge against Iron Man and Tony Stark now. So let's pass on over. We'll open up one more time. We'll give you a little quick peek inside issue number 107. Because here we got the final battle with Midas. So again, Hour of the Golden Doom. And you can see all of the other heroes. Everybody's been turned to gold, right? He's putting his spell on his powers on Iron Man. So here we got a different artist team. We've got Keith Pollard and Fred Kita on this particular issue. Keith Pollard has been doing actually, no, it's Bruce Cockrum that's been doing the covers on these. So Keith Pollard, who did a lot of stuff going forward, worked on Thor and I think Fantastic Four and quite a few others. Pretty good art here. So here you got, Tony fighting all the other Iron Men once again. Knocking them down one by one. Grabs the fallen Whitney, otherwise known as Man in Mask. She's kind of passed out. He lets up his guard, and of course Midas comes up behind him and touches him and turns him to gold. So then they take all the heroes who have now been, encased in gold away. Midas, of course, feeling pretty good about himself at this point, right? Of course he is. And then here you get like a lot of the information and all the stuff leading up to these events. So here a little backstory on, what was her name again? Marianne Rogers, right? So here's the backstory on Marianne Rogers and their romance and then all the other villains that got involved, right? So you're going to see some familiar villains here to lead up to Tony breaking up with her and her kind of going cuckoo. So here we hear a little bit of her plot, how she believes she will kill Tony Stark. But meanwhile, Jack of Hearts breaks out of the golden encasing, wears off. So he busts out. Tony does the same. But of course, he's running low on power. So what does he do? He goes up to one of the other Iron Man suits, recharges his chest plate. Iron Man lives again. Iron Man. I'm thinking the Black Sabbath song, right? Here we go. Jack goes after Midas. Midas kind of tosses him aside pretty quickly, but then Iron Man joins the fray, and he's handily whipping Midas right there. His repulsor rays tossing him around. And then all of a sudden, Marianne comes towards Tony. Midas is on the other side, so she's got some kind of weird power. And just as that happens, he kind of ducks out of the way, and all of everything she's got left goes right into Midas, and he is out for the count. And apparently at that point in time, she used up all the energy reserves she had, and her mind completely snaps. And now she has no idea what she's doing there, what her original intent was, and she's just a mess. Everybody else recovers, with the exception of, what was his name here? I forget. The old guy. I forget the old guy's name. Anyway, so Midas is defeated. Marianne's going back to the asylum, and all the heroes can kind of go home. And that's that. So yeah, there you have it. A little inside the cover of a 3-issue run there. And like I said, if you want to go back even further, I would highly recommend check out issue number 104, which sees Iron Man tangling with the Jack of Hearts for the first time there. That's, but of course, I think it's one issue before that where all this kind of starts. So yeah, it's a nice little 4 or 5 issue run that continues this storyline, which is always pretty cool when they kind of keep you hooked in for a little while. So there you have it. Iron Man 105, 106, 107. Including all sorts of guest stars and battling Midas. So there you have it. Tune in soon. We got more stuff coming up here on Comic Book Users. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page, our links to our merch page, right? The Sea of Tranquility merch page. You can get a Comic Book Users shirt or a coffee mug. So that's all down below. I keep saying the Sea of Tranquility stuff all the time. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon here on Comic Book Users with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good one. Bye-bye.